Right, so what's up YouTube? This is Fred Void here, and I'm really excited today because I got a new helmet just the other day, and I've been trying it out for a couple of days, and I'm really pleased with it. So I thought I'd do a short review of it, tell you my honest opinion, and go through the pros and cons and so forth. Now, I'm a pretty unexperienced rider. I've been doing riding for about a year, and I've mostly worn sheep helmets, or helmets that are on the cheaper side up until now. And since I got a new bike after my first bike and I plan on taking it to the track, I wanted something a bit more premium, a bit safer and a bit more comfortable, and yeah, a bit better looking, of course. So I got myself a Scorpion EXO 2000 Air. And Scorpion isn't a very well established manufacturer here in Sweden. There's only like 3 or 4 online stores selling them, and there were no retailers nearby. So I did the unthinkable. I got it online without trying it out first. And my thought was that I could, through reading reviews and checking out descriptions of like how it fits, the head shape, so forth, I thought, well, it's a very cheap helmet in relation to what you actually get. And while it may not be like an Arai RX-7 GP or the other bigger manufacturers' flagships, it certainly has, it's very high quality, and I've seen that some MotoGP riders actually use this exact helmet. Well, the ones they use probably got a bit more bells and whistles and so forth, but still, it's the same basic helmet. So, since I'm riding a Kawasaki ZX6R636, which is green, the only acceptable color if you have a Kawasaki bike, I also got a green one, and it's got the shifter graphics, and yeah, I'm very pleased with it. The first thing I noticed out of the box is that it fit my head very nicely, very snugly, but since I'm a puffy cheek guy, my cheeks are everywhere, being flabby and all that, the cheek pads were a bit too tight, but this will wear off after time as they compress. And if not, I'll just get a pair of smaller ones, since the helmet fits extremely well on the sides of the head, the back and the front. And I paid 2,300 crowns for it, which is approximately like $260, $270, and the same amount in euros, I think. And that's cheap for a helmet this good, at least if you look at the other reviews of it and other tests of it. It has a very premium feel to it. The lining inside of the helmet, like cheek pads and all that stuff, it feels extremely good on your skin. It feels a lot more expensive than what it actually is. And it's got Scorpion's famous inflation system. So you just pump this, just press it, and the cheek pads will inflate, giving it a very, very snug fit, which is not necessary in my case since it's fucking tight already. But perhaps one day when the cheek pads have worn out a little, and you just press this button and the pressure releases. And it's also got a very thought through emergency system, so if you crash and you're lying in a ditch unconscious or wrapped around a tree or something, yeah, the emergency personnel can just pull the entire lining out, the neck roll and everything, just pulling here, and everything will come out very nicely. So that's a definite plus that they've thought it through to this level. And I was surprised to discover that included in this price was 2 visors and a pin lock visor. One clear visor and one tinted smoke visor. And since I will mostly be riding it during daytime, or well, I only ride during the day because I only go on shorter tours, like 2 or 3 hours maximum, usually. This is perfect. The helmet is race oriented, it's track oriented, but it works for the street too. But it's not like if you're into touring or you're a commuter and you ride a lot during winter time when it's cold, rainy, and stuff like that. This is probably not the perfect main helmet for that, since it's very it's basic. It doesn't have an integrated sun visor, you know. It's very tight, you know, so it's not oriented towards commuting or that kind of thing. The visor is very thick and it feels like it's very high quality. It's got a very good quick release mechanism. You just pull this back and it pops right off, and it's easy to pop back as well. So it's changing the visor is very quick, very nice. And yeah, as I said, in the price, a pin lock visor was included. Let's check that out. If I can just pop the visor off. Abracadabra, bitch. Well, I actually had no idea what a pin lock visor was before I got this. I've seen it mentioned before, but I thought it was some kind of quick release mechanism or something like that, because that's what it sounds like. But yeah, it's like an extra visor inside your visor, if you don't already know. And it's like there's a thin silicone edge that's supposed to be tight against the other visor, and that keeps air in here, and somehow it's an anti-fog mechanism basically, and it works really well. I've tried like putting the helmet on, breathing heavily, closing all the ventilation, and all that happens is that you get a thin, very thin fog on the visor, on the visor in a worst case scenario, but it's completely transparent. It doesn't really obscure your vision in any serious way. So it works great. At least it has up until now. I haven't tried it out in rain or anything like that, but I've heard good things about it. So it's just great. And something I really liked is that you got a bag for your visor, so you can just keep it in your backpack or whatever if you don't know if you'll be riding during the night or not. So it's very practical. The bag that came with the helmet is it's of no consequence or substance really, but it's a very nice bag. It's thick, high quality feeling. And the first thing I noticed when I took it for a test spin first is that the ventilation actually works really well, because on my other helmets you can barely tell a difference between open and closed ventilation. It doesn't really make a difference. So sometimes you have to open the visor, clear out a little fog. But I went out with all the ventilation open fully, and it was like between 10 and 12 degrees Celsius out. And it got very cold very quickly, extremely drafty. So so I had to close like this one and this one. But it's really that's good, because this will be really nice on the track or just generally in the summer, because you get real airflow through it. And if you check out the inside of the helmet, I'm not going to rip the lining out because, well, it's unnecessary. But you can see, not from your view obviously, but there are like air ducts running across the helmet, across the inside of the helmet. So the air goes in, it goes out, and it's very, very roomy and very airy. There's a lot of space where the air can flow freely. So this is really ingenious if you're gonna ride actively during warm summer days. And the aerodynamics of the helmet are, they're just great. And I didn't really think that that would make a huge difference, but I noticed that at higher speeds, or at least up to like 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers an hour, that at higher speeds the helmet just cuts through the airflow like a fucking knife. It's really nice. And I noticed this when I turned my head slightly to look down or look back or something, and the helmet just cut through the air a lot better than my previous helmets. So that's good. So it's probably great at the track in that aspect as well. And there's also this neat function for the visor. If you close this lever, the visor closes completely. So it's track function, I guess, and the visor it closes tightly, and it's locked as well. If you open it, the visor is slightly open to get more air through, and you can get up and down. So it's a track-oriented function, I think. And you also got some more stuff with it. Let's check it out. It's not much, but you got a cleaning kit as well. There's like 2 Q-tips, silicone oil, and water repellent, a water repellent agent, and microfiber rag to wipe the visor. That's nice. I mean, it's the little things, you know. So I was very pleased with it when it has shaped itself after my head and my cheeks primarily. It will be really nice, and I think it's a rather safe helmet. I guess it's approved according to standards, you know. So I would highly recommend it if you ride the same way I do. I wouldn't recommend it for commuting, for riding in the winter, or any kind of touring, you know. It will work for touring, but it's not optimal for touring because it fits tightly, and you might want something slightly more comfortable and comfort oriented if you're going long distances and you're on your bike for like maybe 8 hours a day. So yeah, all in all, it's a really nice helmet, and I would recommend it especially to people in Sweden. I've never seen a Scorpion helmet yet. I know that there are a couple of people using it, but I would recommend it because even if you order it online and you can try it out, returning it is still a lot cheaper than getting something equivalent from another manufacturer. You will still save a lot of money doing that. So yeah, I think that's about all. So yeah, that concludes this review, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And also, if you have any questions about the helmet, if you want me to perhaps measure something for you in more detail or whatever, just write it down in the comment section. And thanks for watching, and cheers.